Hey folks, it's Mike from Independence, and I'm here to review a Regal pen today. It is this one, the Regal Oxford, which came to me from Jonas and Colin at Massdrop. Thanks very much, guys, for sending this out for review. It is a huge pen. It is a big and heavy pen. It's here next to, this is a TWSBI VAC 700, and you can see that they are pretty well identically long. The TWSBI is narrower by quite a bit, and also it's a lot lighter because it's made of plastic. This is a plastic pen. This is a very heavy sort of copper-bodied pen, I think, is what I read online. And it's got a serious amount of heft to it. So keep that in mind if this is a pen you're thinking about getting. It is mostly chrome with some lacquer, and you get a bit of a design on there. We'll get to that in just a sec. You look at, go ahead and start at the cap. Why not? You have this nice gold crown up there, the Regal emblem. It just says Regal since 1979 across the top, or along the edge of the top, and then some laurels there, and then kind of a nice design in the center. You also see a nice design around the edge here, kind of a crosshatchy thing with a little bit of, like, I don't know, a little diamond action there in the centers going around. And the same thing is repeated at the bottom. The clip is a pretty big, sturdy clip. It's very stiff. This clip doesn't move a whole lot, although it does move some. So if you put it on something, it's going to stay there. So no worries about that. The cap, when you take it off, is a big, heavy cap. This end piece is, I don't know, it feels pretty solid. I think it's all kind of one piece from here on up. And actually, when I was looking at this, I turned over and looked at this and went, oh, look, that's a primer. This looks just like a shotgun shell. It turns out that it's the same dimensions as a 16-gauge shotgun shell. Might be a little bit narrower. I don't remember if that's the case, but it's the same length. It's about like a 16-gauge shotgun shell. So if you have one of those around, that's about this size. So this is way heavier than a shot shell. All right, let's put that back on for a sec. If you look at the body of this pen, you're going to see that it's a kind of a world map sort of design. Going around, you've got these latitude and longitude lines. You've got vague representations of continents. I mean, for instance, that's South America there. That is not what South America looks like, nor is that North America. They're kind of like, I don't know, that one looks like a chili pepper, and that kind of looks like a ghost. So, there you go. If you want an accurate representation, you look at your pen and go, that's where that thing is. Nah, this is not the pen for you. Australia looks kind of right, sort of. It's very reflective, this pen, so it's hard to show on video with all these light sources around here. But this is it's an attractive pen if you look at it kind of quickly, or if you're just not that concerned about having an accurate map. This South America really bugs me, but that might just be me. And then on the bottom, you have the same kind of scroll, not scroll, kind of scroll, like crosshatchy stuff, a little diamond in the middle, and then some threads. You can indeed post this pen. It does screw on, and then a nice, seriously heavy. All right, take this off, this cap. You have a metal section, which does get a bit slippery on this heavy pen, so maybe not for long periods of use. This is kind of a show pen, though. It's not necessarily a write your novel with pen. It's not super comfortable to write with for that long just because it's so heavy. Now, if I can give it a little bit of a backdrop here, you notice that the pen does sort of taper towards the ends, so it's fat in the middle and sort of tapery on both ends. That's pretty nice. Now, all together, the cap and the pen, either capped or, we haven't showed posted yet. Posted. This is a super long pen when you post it. Look at that sucker. It's crazy big, and I have pretty large hands, but this is a big pen, right? So let's see what happens when I post the 700. Right, quick, it's actually longer than the 700 when you post it, but only by a little bit, not a lot. So yeah, I don't know, just a little bit. And most people don't even post the 700 because that makes it a little bit unwieldy. Well, the Regal Oxford here weighs in at 65 grams according to their website, and so you might be thinking to yourself, I don't know what 65 grams feels like, unless you're like my wife, who is a scientist, and she's kind of into grams. But myself, I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I Googled it. Turns out you can Google weights of things. And I Googled, what weighs 65 grams? And it turns out that a C battery weighs 65 grams. So this is about the same as a C battery. There you go. There's a little bit of trivia. Also, interestingly, 2 incandescent light bulbs is about 65 grams. Not quite 2. It's like, I don't know, 1.8 incandescent light bulbs or something. But so I'm gonna take a couple light bulbs and fill that and have this, and about the same. So there you go. I mean, if you have incandescents anymore, and I don't know, I don't have any at my place, I don't think. All right. So you take this off. What's left is the nib, which is a big number 6. Let's see what's the best way to show this nib off. There you go. It's a big number 6 nib. It's fairly simple. You'll see lots of pictures on the website on inkdependence.com. So if you want to see it up close and that sort of thing, check it out there. It has the Regal crown in the middle, and it doesn't have a size listed anywhere. There's no size marking, but all of these Regals seem to come with about a medium, and it's kind of a European medium, so the same sort of medium you'll find on most of those European kinds of pens. This is actually a pretty decent nib. One of the other pens I used from Regal, I had to do a lot of nib work on. The Jennings needed some work. The tines were out of line, and I needed to smooth it down with micro mesh and all that sort of thing. But this pen, no particular problem. It writes just fine right out of the box. I don't think I even cleaned it out. I just kind of put ink in it. And honestly, I'm not exactly sure what ink I put in it. It's kind of a nice blue ink. It might be Aurora Blue. I feel like it probably is. Yeah, that's my best bet, is it's Aurora Blue, because I've been testing out a lot of Auroras recently. So I'm pretty sure this is Aurora Blue. But it comes with this standard little converter. It says Regal, has a crown. But it also takes international cartridges, regular old cartridges, no big deal. So cartridge converter fill. No, it's just me, but this cartridge looks a little bent. I don't know. Maybe my mind is playing tricks on me, or maybe there's something not quite right. No, it's definitely got a little bit of a bend to it. So that's a little bit weird, but it doesn't seem to be a problem for the pen at all. Let's see. Oh, one other weird thing about this is the converter is flat across the bottom, like you would see on a Schaefer converter. I don't know why that is, but it is. So there's that. It's kind of an interesting thing. I think maybe it's just not seating super deeply, and so it comes off a little bit crooked. Anyway, that's probably inconsequential. You do have metal threads and a metal body. You can see, so I can get the light to shine into this a little bit. Yeah, no dice, but you have to take my word for it. It's kind of, I think it's coppery stuff in there. So this is a big, heavy pen. It says copper, but that's weird. I would think it would be brass, but I mean, what do I know? That's what it says on the website, so I'm going to believe them. My only quibble with it, well, two quibbles. One is South America doesn't look like that. The other quibble is that I don't feel like it caps very well. It's a very short capping. The threads are a little bit. You look in there, you can see perhaps that those are plastic threads, and this is a pretty aggressive metal threading on the grip section here. Well, I guess it's technically on the barrel, but it's pretty aggressive, and so I think it's maybe a little too aggressive for these, or else somebody's really been capping and uncapping this or something, but it is a little bit wonky to put on the cap. And when you put it on there, it's not super tight. Like, just a little bit of a rotation makes this thing come off. It is, I think, what they call triple threaded, so you can put it on there from pretty much anywhere, which is real nice. You don't have to, have a whole bunch of twisting around trying to catch the threads. It catches pretty well, but it's just not very long. I think the threads need to be longer or some such, or maybe they shouldn't have triple threaded it, so you'd have to unscrew it harder. But this is that's my only quibble. I think this is a little bit loose. I wish that it was tighter. And if I really screw it in there good, it still kind of comes loose quickly. So, that's the thing to keep in mind, is that it comes loose a little bit quickly. So I'm not going to be putting this on my shirt. It's not going to be like going in my placket or whatever. I'd put it in a pocket just fine. And it clips onto a pocket pretty well. Let me tilt this down a little bit, you can see better. And then, it fits just fine. This is a pretty big shirt pocket, so I don't really, this isn't maybe your average length and depth of shirt pocket, but it actually works just fine. And this clip is good. It's very stiff, but it does go over material pretty well. I've not had any problems with it, but I would want it to be resting on the bottom. I wouldn't want to give it a chance to unscrew and fall off, because then you just end up with ink everywhere. All right, so, stay tuned for a writing sample. Okay, time for a bit of a writing test. So this is done with my new iPhone 6s. I want to check out the video on that, and what better way to do that than take a video. So here it goes. This is, of course, the uncapped pen, unposted pen. I'm not going to try to write with it posted. That's kind of crazy. So here we go. Here's a little panagram for you. I've been just staring at panagrams for a while because they're kind of awesome. All right, so jinxed wizards pluck ivy from the big quilt. All right, a little harder than I thought to do that with one hand, but there you go. And you did have a little bit of a hard start, it seems here. Right there, we'll go ahead and fix that, why not? All right, that's probably because I was sitting here with this uncapped, just reading panagrams, like how razorback jumping frogs can level 6 peak to gymnasts, and Amazingly few discotheques provide jukeboxes, and how quickly daft jumping zebras vex. All kinds of fun things. But Jinxed Wizards pluck ivy from the big quilt. I think that might be one that I use for a little while. This nib is actually quite nice, as I said in the other bit of the video. No tuning necessary. Writes up no problem. I believe this is Aurora Blue, which is a bit drier than Aurora Black, which does tend to be very wet. This one is pretty average, really. And you get some you get good writing out of it. It's a little bit purplish. Let me see if I can just zoom in just a skosh. Whoa, zoomed way in. Also, it's got a bit of a sheen, but this nib is slightly on the wet side, I would say, from my past experience with this ink. Just a little bit wet, but no problem with starting up. Seems to work just fine. No real feedback if you listen to it. Here's just a little bit of a noise, not too much. So, yeah, not bad at all. You are going to get fingerprints here on the section and on a few other pieces of this thing, like on this cap. You'll get a little bit of fingerprint action just because it is so darn glossy. In fact, it's so glossy it's kind of difficult to get pictures of. There you go. This is sugarcane paper that I'm writing on, and so that's why it still hasn't quite dried in here. I wonder if it would smear. Yeah, just a little bit of smear, but this is sugarcane paper, and it's got a very long dry time, especially with this ink and such. So anyway, that's a writing sample there from the Regal Oxford. Final estimation. It's a pretty good pen if you want something that's like a presentation pen, like if you want to give somebody a big pen, or if you want to have a big pen that sits on your desk, or if you want to use a pen that's to sign stuff with. This has had the same ink in it since I've been using it, which is, I don't know, a few weeks, and I haven't had any problems with it drying out. I think I might have refilled it once. I don't know, a couple of weeks anyway I've used this thing. Let me see. And yeah, still a fair amount in there. I must have refilled it. In fact, I know I did. I refilled it the other day. Anyway, there you go.